Good morning, Story Trading VIPs. I think we have found the cheat code to crushing Wall Street every single morning. It's crazy. Remember the DE crush job we've done this many, many times, right? And we actually have a video coming out on Deer and how we did that. But the basic concept goes, and it all stems from believing that the market is efficient. And you know what? This used to rub people the wrong way, but I'm going to double, triple, quadruple down on it because it works, right? So what's the idea? The idea is that today's information is already priced into the market. Everything's priced in the market. So when you have new information, you're going to see a rapid re-rating based on that new information. So what do? It's very simple. When there's an earnings beat, you take the magnitude of the beat, whatever it is, 10 cents or whatever it is like that, annualize it. Or if you have the guidance, if you have the beat for the guidance for the full year, you take that number and you apply the existing PE to it, because we respect all market participants. We don't sit here and make judgments that I'm the only smart one and everyone else is stupid and I'm a fundamental investor and that's overvalued. No, we don't do that, because the market's much more complicated than that, and you can only trust what the market says, not what you say, right? So if the market says that NVIDIA, right, for example, deserves a PE of 87.86, guess what? We're going to respect that, right? Because there's maybe something about the sentiment you don't understand. Maybe something about the future growth you don't understand. So we're respecting this PE of 87.86. So what happens? What do? Well, when they come in and they beat earnings and go through this flow, it was 88 cents versus 81 cents. Very simple math. You take the 7 cents beat, you annualize it. That's 28 cents. You throw on this existing PE, 28 cents times 88 PE. What do you get? You get $24 in share appreciation. Now, we did this math when NVIDIA was up $20. Now it's up $25. This works time and time and time again. A little bit over our target. Maybe that's because I'm using the beat of this the most recent quarter and not the full year guidance. I didn't dig into it. I don't know what their full year guidance was. Maybe it's even bigger than 28 cents above analysts' estimates. All right. Just so excited about that. I had to share that. And we're going to share with you another one in just a second that was, we killed it this morning, LNTH. But first, let's just quickly look at the markets, which we try to do first. SPY QQQ. I mentioned yesterday, risk is to the upside after the notes came out from the Fed, because we already went down. SPY bounced off the 50 DMA. I still like intermediate term, and I'm still kind of a negative on this market. Although let's look at the weekly chart. Let's see where we're at. I think it's bouncing off of it, right? Let's just let me go to the week. No, let me go to the 1 year chart weekly on SPY. It's trying to hold this level. Remember, we talked about this earlier. We said that 50-week moving average, you can go below it intra-week. What matters is where you close out tomorrow. So if we close above like this 400 level tomorrow, you may be back into a safe kind of zone. And I guess I'll be looking at that. But for now, look, you know what we do better than anything else is predict price re-ratings on day one after news, whether it's an earnings beat or some other catalyst on individual stocks. So let's stick with that. So just want to mention BABA. I don't trade BABA, but BABA looked like a beat and it's up. Just want to let you know about that. PANW, that was yesterday, and we had a few targets on this after the beat yesterday morning. First target is 189, which it hit precisely. Second target, 192.50, which is the high right here, 192.93. 192 to 193, that area, that's your next resistance level. And then after that, 210, really close to the 52-week all-time high, would be your next resistance level. And based on all the upgrades we're seeing and how it's being received, you can see 220, 235 targets, all kinds of big targets. I think those are definitely reasonable to get into in a swing period. But 180 for the more near term, 189, and then 192.50 on PANW. Letting you know about TDOC earnings. It was basically in line. I think there was a little bit disappointment on the guide, but yesterday on the post-market wrap, I actually mentioned that the initial reaction was a little bit overblown because people were looking at the headlines, and it looked like a big miss, but that was because of a non-cash goodwill impairment charge related to Livongo acquisition. If you took that out, it was actually a slight beat on earnings, 23 cents loss versus 25 cents, and even the sales were a slight beat, right? But the disappointment was really in revenue. Here it is. This is the only disappointment because the earnings was in line as well, 125 to 175 loss versus 141. And then revenue was a slight miss. So you're seeing this stock down a little bit, but again, it did look like an overreaction that I mentioned. I'm not surprised it's bouncing back. Not a terrible report. Let's just quickly look at the technicals. I'm not playing this at all, but it's in between these moving averages. It's got to kind of, break above those levels for breakout. I'm not making any predictions on that. Now, the one we killed this morning, unbelievable, LNTH. We did the same thing. I just went through the math with you on NVIDIA. What's the math here? Okay, well, let's dig into it real quick. 137 beats 96 cents. So it's a 40-cent beat for the quarter. But if we have estimate for the full year, I'd rather use that. So if you go into the report and dig deep in here, which is what I did this morning, you'll see they guided for 495 to 510, 495 to 510. So I looked up the Yahoo Finance analyst estimates. So the average estimate was, guess what? 420. So that's 80 cents above consensus. So what do? You take that 80-cent beat, you apply this 39 PE to that 80-cent beat, and what do you come up with? What is that? Like $30? $30 in value, something crazy like that. Now, I mentioned I don't know this company well. I don't know that I want to apply a 40 PE. So I said, you know what? To be conservative, let's just use a 15 PE, right? And that math came to, I think, $15, something like that. Now, the stock was up $5 at the time when we're talking about this in the VIP trading room. And you can see what's happening. This rapid re-rating, same thing happened with Deere, same thing's happening with NVIDIA. Now, but we are story traders here. So we don't only look at the math. We don't only look at the fundamentals. We also look at the technicals to try to triangulate where this could go today. So right now it's at $70, $71. It's above the key. This is gone, right? This is an inflection point for the company. They did a big beat up above the 200 DMA. That's definitely a huge support level. If it happens to get to 65, 66, I think that's a great buy. By the way, we have precedents. Last time they had a big beat over here, the stock was up 50% in one day back here on February 22nd. That's something I like to look at too, to see, if that behavior is something that's possible in this kind of stock, and it is. So in any case, above all the key moving averages now, this is the weekly. Let's see where your resistance levels are at this point. You got something here at about $74. Oh, don't tell me it hit. I think I saw that number. Yeah. About $74, $75, and now that's confirmed with the pre-market resistance. So that's your resistance, 74, 75. And then I think those all-time highs are in play up there to 84. Probably not today. You never know though. But based on the math that we just did on the 80-cent beat, right, and you apply an 80-cent guidance, and you apply that PE to it, another 20. It's in the realm, definitely in the realm of possibility that within. And by the way, last time it beat, it went up for a while after that beat. So this is definitely in the realm of possibility that we have that first resistance at 74, 75, and then this could be a swing play to 85 plus LNTH with that big beat. Unbelievable. We found the cheat code. Found the cheat code, guys. All right. Now, going back to some of our plays yesterday, before I talk about LLAP, I just want to mention there was news yesterday on XXII that I missed. And I thought it was really significant news, and the stock didn't really react. Now, this is about, here it is, accelerates major growing program to enable implementation of New Zealand's reduced nicotine content tobacco law. Now, if you look at this, now we've heard about this before, that New Zealand has passed or is passing some legislation. Maybe it is passed, right? That basically effectively would give XXII VLN cigarettes a monopoly, that it could be the only cigarette sold in all of New Zealand, right? That's like massive news. It's so massive that it's hard to believe, that it's so fantastical. I'm like, nah, it can't be true, right? Can't be true. So even when I read that, I discounted it. I'm like, oh, it's going to take a long time to implement. Maybe they'll change their mind. Maybe the big tobacco will slow it down, right? But now we get some news. Kind of, a fundamentalist might say, Ben, this is not new news. No, but it is, because of everything I just said, right? You have to expect the possibilities. The market is discounting the possibilities that, hey, that's not really going to happen, right? But now you look at this news where it looks like it's really going to happen, right? They are preparing and their infrastructure and placing enough seed to grow enough cigarettes to serve the entire New Zealand market with like 100% market share, right? And I don't know if you read this, I'm not sure if it looks like they're doing this uh, in cooperation with New Zealand government. I'm not sure about that. Maybe not. Maybe not. They're just doing it based on the expectation this happening. But the fact that they're doing this and they're getting ready for this means they have a high confidence level. This law will actually be implemented in New Zealand. That is massive. Can you imagine being the only cigarette in an entire country? And other countries, I think it was an underreaction in the stock yesterday. I don't know, maybe because we didn't cover it here. We'll see what happens. But 95 by 96 cents. All right. Some other things that came out. Oh, Laser. All right, got to talk about Laser. Laser, I think, has all four story trading pillars and could be a great investment. Could be an inflection point yesterday. So yesterday, someone brought it up in our room. Vince, thank you very much. The $2 billion deal with Mercedes for their LiDAR system. Now look at the market cap. It's 2.68 billion. Before the deal, it was like 2 billion. So we already had like a 25-30% move yesterday. So 2 billion deal compared to that 2 billion plus market cap. That's huge news fundamentally. I think I heard the CEO talk. He was on Fox Business, and he said something that's like 10 times larger than their volume they've done to date, and they have to open another facility. So this is like the real deal. So this is, to me, not only a fundamental inflection point, but obviously it improves the sentiment. But I'll talk a little more sentiment in a second. I don't have the math. They're not profitable yet. I assume they can get to profitability with this 2 billion. If you look at the stock, it's been down, right? So, and it's gapping. Well, no, it's trying to break above the 200 DMA. Hasn't made it yet. And after hours yesterday, it did get above it. Now it's back below. So the question is, as story traders, can we anticipate a break of the 200 DMA? Remember, key moving averages are reflective of a fundamental reality. If you break a key moving average, it also oftentimes means the business is inflecting, right? So to me, this is the type of deal you can look back 6 months, 9 months from now, a year from now, and look at a stock chart and see, like, why didn't I buy Laser there at 740 at like the bottom? It went down all so much, and they had this deal, which was the inflection point, $2 billion deal with Mercedes, and I didn't buy it. And here's the other thing with LiDAR. The host on Fox Business was saying, oh, there's some rumor around that you're working with Tesla. Is that true? Obviously, he didn't answer that, right? But has this LiDAR improved to the point? The CEO said that their system is only $1,000, seamlessly fits in the car, like invisible to you, like underneath the car. $1,000 for this LiDAR system, much less expensive than the past, maybe much more scalable. Rumors, maybe Tesla's going to get into LiDAR for autonomous driving one day, right? So now you have the speculation of the sentiment, right? Really, a speculation is kind of the sentiment that Mercedes is validating it. The system's getting cheap. There's rumors Tesla might get in. That's the sentiment. The technicals is, what are we going to do with this 200 DMA? Can we front run that? Can we predict? I think I'm going to make a prediction. It will break that 200 DMA. Didn't quite do it yesterday. I don't know if it's going to do it today, right? But as story traders, that's what we try to do. We try to be ahead of the market and anticipate technical breaks based on sentiment, catalysts, and fundamentals. So I want to propose the idea that Laser might be a really good long-term investment right now, in addition to a good trade, whether it's short-term, who knows? Maybe today it does it. Remember, we haven't had a full trading day on this, right? That's the other thing to think of. That news cycle only hit a lot of people only saw that news last night. So there may be additional demand today. You may see upgrades coming out today. A little bit surprised it's red this morning. I kind of see that as an opportunity on Laser this morning at $7.33. All right, LLAP. I really didn't like the price action on this yesterday. I didn't play this that well, because I got in pre-market mostly yesterday. And my average is probably like 330, right? So I'm down right now overall. But I was doing a lot of research on this last night, and I think this is the real deal fundamentally. But the price action yesterday, to me, seemed very heavy. It seemed like a fund was shorting because of some raise that was going on. And Randy from our community did actually find that there was an ongoing raise in place that they could tap into that was put in place in July that could imply that they were offering 17 million shares to institutions. I don't know the terms of that. I don't know exactly how that works, but it very well could be there were 17 million shares short in the market yesterday because they're participating in some offering that gives them shares much lower than $3 so they can cover by participating in the offering. I have a feeling there was some of that yesterday. And I'm also a little bit worried that they may do an additional offering taking advantage of this share price action. So a little bit of uncertainty here in LLAP, but I was doing a lot of research last night in our community on this business segment, on satellites, on constellations, on the company that they did this $2 billion deal with, $2.4 billion. But by the way, their press release understated the potential of this deal. It's actually probably $4 to $5 billion because it's a two-phase project. Now, they only signed for the first phase, which is why they mentioned the $2.4 billion. But if you look at the 8K, there's an option to do another 300 satellites. So the first 300 satellites are $2.4 billion. Then you have another 300 satellites, which I assume are close to $2.4 billion. Probably a good discount for those, though, because the customer is paying for the design phase, right? So it's going to be more front-loaded, I would assume, on the first phase. But $2 billion, something like that. And very interesting thing, some nuggets that were dug up that I shared is they are preparing for this. They're scaling. They're building like the world's largest manufacturing facility for satellites in Florida to meet this demand. So this seems like the real deal on all fronts. I think the only question is there an offering ongoing that can temporarily depress the stock on LLAP? I think that's the only thing to possibly consider and worry about. Otherwise, you know, you got that 325 resistance at the 200 DMA we got to contend with, and then we'll take it from there. Did I lose my DMAs again? What's going on? There it is on the 1 month for some reason. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else. Last things I missed. All right, 2 more stocks, and then I'll get to Vegas, who just came in our back studio here. COMM earnings were in line. This is very interesting. I tagged Eric, Niles, and Chris on this to get their opinion. This is in line, so I'm not expecting like a rapid re-rating today or anything like that. But based on their EPS, their adjusted EPS, I mean, this could be a $30, $35 stock if they didn't have their debt issue. So it's something to look into and be aware of and keep track of. If they deal with that debt issue, I mean, this could be a huge multi-bagger over a short period of time at some point. So let's do the collaboration on that. Just want to mention ReWalk, to me, seems like they had good earnings. It was the best revenue in 5 years. It's trading at a negative EV. It looks like they're starting to get Medicare coverage. This is something that looks very interesting. I'm going to actually add high to my watch list, and maybe if I get a chance to listen to the conference call, I'm going to try to do that. All right, and with that, we're going to bring in our favorite friend, I Love Stocks, Vegas. Let's go. Hey, Vegas, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
Great. We made some incredible calls that we covered before you came on the show this morning on NVIDIA and LNTH, like rapid re-ratings based on earnings beats. So I assume you're looking at some of those. What's on your radar?
Yeah, well, we're already in NVIDIA, so we were very confident in the earnings being strong. So a lot of members in my room already are in NVIDIA. They've been in NVIDIA actually for quite some time when the stock was pulling back. So some of these traders have been in NVIDIA contracts since December in anticipation for smashing earnings. So they got some really good deals on NVIDIA.
Wow.
So yeah, fabulous day for NVIDIA traders. Sympathy play would be AMD, obviously. And yeah, very impressed. You know, I'm not shocked, to be honest, by NVIDIA at all. So, but one of my favorites, as you guys know, because you know I love China, is my friend Alibaba. I mean, obviously,
look at that. I have it right at the top. I knew what you're going to talk about without even talking to you.
There you go. So like, I love Alibaba. Listen, I'm not going to trade NVIDIA in terms of a new contracts because the IV will be through the roof.
I think I lost your audio. Or is that me? Hello? Vegas?
Yeah.
All right. I lost your audio. Go ahead. You were talking about IV is going to be through the roof on Alibaba?
No, through NVIDIA, because it's moved up so much.
NVIDIA. I'm sorry, NVIDIA.
I mean, for option traders, you know, you're going to have to pay through the nose. So either you trade the commons, is probably a lot better. But I'm really focused on BABA. I did take a swing trade on BABA yesterday for options going into the earnings, because again, I don't really trade option earnings too often, but you know, if you like it and you're confident, you'll trade it. But obviously I didn't take a big size. I took the 105 calls for next week, March 3rd. And we'll see what happens there with NVIDIA. They were only $1. So we'll see what those go for today. They had revenue beat by 40 million, and they have so much cash, and really liking what the CEO talked about with his recovery in the consumer sentiment and the economic activity. And, they're focused on driving growth for customers amidst the competitive landscape and to create sustainable long-term value for shareholders. So that is the CEO, Daniel Zhang, and I love what he said, and I love my BABA. So
Nice.
That's looking great.
That's great.
So yeah. So I'm pretty much like focus today for me is going to be BABA and AMD. Like AMD is very tradable. Sympathy to NVIDIA. So, anyone that's looking to trade, maybe focus on AMD. AMD looks really good here, over $80, room to like 81, 81.31. I don't know if it'll go much more, but that looks really good. And also I'm going to be looking to trade Apple today. So Apple looks great. I love that it's over 150, and I'm looking for Apple to go to 152.50. And if it does break that, then Apple, in my opinion, we're going to 154.25. So a nice $3-4 move here on Apple. So I'm going to focus on where the action is going to be, and I'm going to be with Apple today. Apple, Apple looks beautiful to me.
I'll take it. I'll take a little bull run here. I will note there were a lot of great earnings, right? Yesterday, PANW. We're seeing lots of other great earnings here with LNTH on our radar. So I was looking at these this morning before I even saw QQQ SPY. I'm like, is it possible the markets are going to be down on these great earnings? And I scrolled down to my QQQ SPY. I'm like, great, we're up 1%. Maybe we can get a little relief rally after several days down. SPY bouncing right off that 20 DMA, so or 50 DMA. You can see it right there.
And so also we should be watching.
I'll take it.
Yeah. And I'm going to be watching Netflix as well and see how that plays out today with Netflix, because it is pulling back this morning a little bit. It's at 331.50. So I'm going to be watching Netflix. We'll see if it wants to move to the upside.
You got the Netflix. 50 DMA support right there. That could be a beautiful bounce.
Yeah, so just keep a watch on Netflix. I'm looking to see if it can reclaim. I want to see if there will be any shorts coming in here and see if we can crush them. Because I love to crush the shorts.
Awesome. Let's crush the short. Are you still in LLAP? Let's crush those shorts. I'm still in it.
I'm still in LLAP because for me it's a swing trade. Look at that beautiful volume pre-market, like 6.47 million. Hello, that's beautiful. And that deal is no small joke. So this looks great. Can you imagine that they would announce like some sort of deal with Tesla? I mean, wow, they would be like a great little connection there. But yeah, you know what? I like LLAP, still holding it. And look, I want to see my $5 break in due course and see where it goes. I mean, support's holding quite well, so looking good. And Etsy, Etsy, great winner, one to watch. By the way, great growth company. Did you know that the company tripled in size right when the pandemic kicked in? People were stuck at home and opened up small little businesses, and they have like so many home crafters, that buy from them constantly. It's just a great little company, and I really love Etsy. Have you ever gone on there to check stuff online? You love it. It's awesome. I've gone on there. I've ordered stuff online. People are so like creative on Etsy. I mean, I could never be a seller on Etsy because I suck at arts and crafts. But let me tell you, that earnings was phenomenal. One to not overlook. Okay, people that like growth stocks, you watch that stock, because this stock is one to watch. That earnings was amazing, and the CEO's Josh Silverman. We should actually have him maybe on StoryTrading. And they had significant growth in headwinds, and their company they have 95 million active buyers on the platform. That is insane, and they outpaced expectations by 1 million. So that is really big. They've got another 1 million customers on the app shopping. So, people are shopping, more customers shopping. That means more revenue, and free cash flow is very strong as well. So maybe we should get in touch with Josh Silverman and have him on the show.
That would be great. Not one I follow, but maybe I'll make room to add it to our watch list. I see the guidance was for $4 a share in adjusted EPS for 2023. You missed your cheat code. We developed a cheat code here at StoryTrading. We've been killing it on earnings re-ratings. And so I'm going to do it real quick for you. Ready? Analyst estimates in 2023. Average estimate Average estimate, are you kidding me, is $2.74. They're guiding for $4. That's
I know.
huge.
That's why I got to get Josh on here. We got to talk to
Yeah.
Josh, and because I shop on Etsy, so I want to talk
Yeah.
to him about the company. But yeah, we should get him on here. See if we can set something up, because I think people will like really. Some people they like to shop on like eBay, but they don't realize like so many things that you can get on Etsy that like people like, I've never heard of Etsy. What does it do?
Oh,
So
look.
they should check it
Stock
out.
number 300. I actually had room for it. I thought it was maxed out. So now it's my 300th stock on my watch list. We'll be monitoring and watching Etsy from now on. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Vegas.
you're welcome, guys. Have a great trading day. Let's go Apple. Bye for now.
Great day, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.